What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing two looks with the new ELFXJKISSA To The Rescue palette. This is her second collab with ELF. I really enjoyed her first collab with ELF, so I'm super excited to play with this today. I also think that the concept behind this entire collection is c'est magnifique, exquisite, delicious. So I'm pumped and I'm ready to get some looks done. I also picked up another item from the collection. This is one of the, I just knocked over my monitor, pardon me. Oh God, I'm dropping everything. This is one of the dual-ended eyeshadow toppers, so I'm gonna be trying that today as well. I was not sent this collection in PR. I wanted to clarify that because ELF does send me stuff sometimes, but this was not one of those things, and I went out and bought it myself because I wanted to play with it. And by went out, I mean ordered it online, because that's like the only way you can get anything right now, but you know what I mean. Before we get into the video, please don't forget to leave a like on it because it's very helpful to me and I would really appreciate it. And also, by the way, if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. Why, you ask, should you subscribe? One reason is because today I accidentally matched my eyeshadow to my shirt, and that's like a really serendipitous thing, which is similar to how you serendipitously found this channel, and we're meant to be. You're supposed to be here. Hang with me, stay with me. It's gonna be good. If you are new around here and you don't know, I always link all of the stuff that I use on my whole face in the description down below, and I also timestamp each look that we do, so that way if you want to come back and you want to watch just one look and like recreate it, you don't have to watch the whole video again, you could just jump right to it. I try to make everything as convenient as I can. I don't have any stories for you guys today about like wildlife showing up in my toilet or anything like that, which I feel like at this point feels almost disappointing for you. This week has been relatively uneventful, which while it doesn't give me any fun stories to tell in my intro, it's also been like a little bit restful and like better, so I'm glad. But you know, like we'll be back with some, I'm sure something weird will happen to me again next week, but until then we've got some makeup to do. So let's get into look number one with the new ELFXJKISSA To The Rescue palette. So here is the inside of the palette. First of all, I think that the concept of this palette is brilliant. It has a rainbow of colors, but each color has a lighter shade, a darker shade, and a shimmer, and I just think that that is so fucking brilliant. Simple and brilliant. Also, there's a little sheet of stickers in here. They're like tattoo inspired dog stickers with other little things that kind of represent Jess as a person, and I think that's super cute because the outside of the palette is really plain and you're supposed to decorate it with your own stickers. I haven't done mine yet. Maybe I will do mine before the end of the video and then show you guys how I put my stickers on it. So for the first look, I've been wanting to not quite recreate, but do a look heavily inspired by this look by Ashley, or you might know her as Atlee here on the internet. I loved this look when she posted it. It's going to look very different on me because she's blonde and has blue eyes and is way more tan than me, but in general I think it's just a good look and I want to try to do something similar. So I'm going to grab a BH number 6 brush and I'm going to start by going into the shade Millie, and I'm going to use this shade through the entire crease, blending it upward toward the brow. I don't know what happened here. Was that my fault? What the hell just happened? I don't know why it went up that high, but I guess I'm bringing it all up that high to match it now. I'm gonna grab a clean eyeshadow brush and just blend over that where I went up too high and just not add any more product to the mix of that because, I mean, it was up there. I'm gonna grab a MAC 221 brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Zuma. I'm gonna put that a little bit more concentrated through the same area of the crease just to deepen that orange, start to make a bit of a gradient with it. If I'm not mistaken, if I recall, it was a while ago, but when Ash did her look, I think she only used 2 colors, and that's awesome. But because we're using this new palette today and there's no like true bright red in this palette, it's more like a brick brownish red, I want to use these colors to like amp up the brightness a little bit. Okay, so now that I have the orange down in the crease, I'm gonna do a half cut. So from the inside corner to about right in the middle of my pupil. And I have the Urban Decay Stay Naked Pro Customizer Concealer in the pure white shade so that we can use it as a completely white base, which I think is gonna be really good for the yellow. Just loading that onto a NABLA Cut Crease Maker brush. Just gonna tap over the end of that to blend it out toward the outer half of the eye. I'm gonna grab my MAC 242 and I'm gonna go into the shade Yosemite, which is the bright matte yellow shade in this palette. I'm gonna pack that over where we put down that white. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. Now on a MAC 217 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Casey, and I'm going to use Casey on the outer corner and tap that right up into those orangey shades that we used in the crease and bring it right into the middle of the lid where we ended that yellow. So far I'm enjoying this palette like conceptually, but some of the shades, they're not performing poorly, but they definitely lack a little bit of vibrance when you put them on the lid, and they're not the most pigmented shades I've ever worked with. They're not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but they're definitely not super vibrant. I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go back into a little bit of the shade Zuma, and I'm going to use that to tap over where we made the red meet the yellow. It's easier to blend orange into yellow than it is red, and vice versa, so hello, no brainer. And on my MAC 221 again, I'm going to go into the shade Pepper, which is a little bit of a darker reddish brown, and I'm going to pop that on the very outer corner and a little bit of it into the crease, not too much though. All right, now that I have this done, before I conceal under my eyes, I'm going to add a black wing. I'm going to grab the KVD tattoo liner in the original black shade Trooper, and I'm going to keep the wing, I don't want to say small, because my version of a small wing is still a really big fucking wing for most people, but like smaller than sometimes I do it, because I want it to be more of like a slinky kind of a look, like a little more like bless, and more, not just more. Does that you get what I'm saying? I concealed and powdered, and for the waterline, I want to keep it bright and open. So I'm going to use the Benefit Roller Eye Bright. I'm going to run that right through my waterline. How the hell did I get so much of it into my lashes? Jesus. For the lower lash line, I want it to be largely very bare underneath there, with the exception of a little bit of mascara, but I feel like I need just a little bit of definition, just because, first of all, I did a sloppy job of applying my eyeliner, so I need to fix that, but also just because I feel like it flatters my eye shape a little bit more, so I like to kind of cheat this. When I keep the bottom half of my eye bare, I like to just take a little bit of my bronzer, so I'm going to take the Benefit HOOLA bronzer, and I'm going to just sweep that on a soft brush right underneath my lower lash line. You kind of won't even really notice that there's much going on there, but it still just gives you a little bit more of definition and like lift on the outer half of the eye, which I find to be more flattering on myself. I'm gonna grab a pencil brush and I'm gonna go into the shimmer yellow shade called Firefly, and I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner just a little tiny bit, just for a difference in texture, because the whole thing is matte. And now I'm gonna just finish this off with some mascara and lashes. Okay, I finished the eyes with the House of Lashes Natalia Light Lash. I used some very warm blush today. I added a lot of highlight because I felt like glowy and, you know, a little bit more on the warm side went along with this. And I added a few extra faux freckles around my nose area. I do have actual freckles right now, and a lot of times they do still show through my foundation, but I added a little bit of them back in. And for the lip, I don't know why I got this close before I explained what I was gonna use for the lip. I don't know why I have just a big face in the camera right now. This is where we are, and I'm not zooming back out at the moment. So I'm gonna line my lips with the KVD pencil in the color Lolita 2, nice warm nudish mahogany. It's not mahogany at all, I'm losing my mind. I feel like terracotta, that's what I meant, terracotta. And I'm gonna fill the center in with the NABLA lipstick in the color Metropolitan. This is from the Cuties collection. And this is the first look. So for the second look, I want to play with some of the other colors in here, but I don't know exactly where I want to go with it. So we're gonna do that whole see where the road takes us game that we like to play on this channel. I do know that I definitely want to try the color Peaky though, so I'm going to use that on my beige number 6, and that's going to be our transition in the crease. I'm gonna scoot closer because I feel so far from you guys, and I don't want to be. I want to be close. That pigmentation looks like it might be a little bit better than some of the other shades. I'm flicking the end out just a little bit. I'm gonna blend the edge of that with a clean brush. I'm just using a little bit of a smaller brush to do this so I don't bring it up too high. The pigmentation on that initially looked better, but now that I'm blending it, it's blending away a little bit. I'm On my MAC 221, I'm gonna go into the shade Tank. I'm gonna put that through the crease, but I'm gonna keep it toward like the high portion of the crease because I'm gonna cut the middle a little bit, I think. And so that way it's like above, you know, it gives you a little bit of a faux lid. That shade's working lovely, I like that. I'm gonna take that same brush and go back into a little bit more of Tank and put that on the outer corner, start to use that like in the outer V area. Wow, outer V, that's like old school YouTube talk right there. Anybody remember when everybody used to talk about the outer V? I'm gonna put a little bit on the inner corner too. Start to deepen up the ends of the lid so that the center looks like it's popping forward a wee bit. Now it's time to cut the center. We're just gonna like set the stage right in the middle for some more colors. So I'm gonna grab that white Urban Decay Naked Concealer again and that same brush, and I'm going to just make a little spotlight right in the middle. I'm just mapping out where the top of that goes first so I can like try to match it on this side as best I can, and then I'll pull the concealer down onto the lid after. And I'm gonna blend the edge of that out with a pencil brush. A lot of times I do this with my finger, but I don't want the white to spread too much, so I'm just gonna do it with the pencil brush to keep it a little bit more concentrated. So I'm actually gonna use two of the shimmers in this spotlight area. So I'm gonna go first with the shade Bailey, which is this blue shimmer. I'm gonna pack that onto a MAC 242 brush, and I'm gonna use it at the top half of the cut. So just placing it right at where we put the top of that white concealer. That shade's very pretty. So far the shimmers in here are really nice. Then I'm gonna go into the shade Reagan, which is the green shimmer, and I'm gonna put that at the bottom of the white concealer. That also seems to be working pretty nicely. We go over the edges with the same brush we used to put down the matte green to begin with, just to blend them in a bit. I'm gonna grab the eyeshadow topper duo that I picked up. This one is called Suki to my heart. Her dog's name is Suki, so she named it after her. Super cute, very cute. I like anything that has to do with puppers. I'm gonna take the green end of this eyeshadow topper and I'm gonna put that over the center part in the bottom. Just a little dab of it and then blend it on there with my finger. Just to brighten up the center of where we put down that green shadow. And then the clear iridescent side of the topper, I'm gonna put that on the remaining portion of the lid, but keeping it toward the middle again. That one's kind of cool because it's like completely clear, just with like a little bit of glitter in it, and I like that. I am a big fan. I like the clear, I think, better than the green. I concealed and I powdered so we can start working on the lower lash line, and I want to use more of the colors in this palette. So instead of continuing the same greens on the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with some of these blues. I'm going to start with the shade Cannoli, this matte bright blue on my, what is this again? MAC 221S brush. How did I forget that? I use this all the time. I'm going to use that underneath the lower lashes. Keep it up into the shape we created on the top. I'm gonna bring this down pretty low because this brighter blue, I want it to be the color that the darker blue that I'm gonna use blends out into. I'm also getting quite a bit of fallout with this color, so just FYI, just know what's coming for you. Also, I'm glad I put down this much powder. Okay, carry on. I'm gonna grab a clean brush and just blend the edge of that out. The edge of this color is blending super weird. It's like, I don't even know how to describe what I've got going on here right now. It looks tie-dyed. What the fuck? I'm gonna grab a little lash line smudger brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Thatcher, which is this deeper blue. I'm gonna use that to define the lower lash line and then wing it out to meet that darker green so those colors connect a little bit better. That color is really pretty. I like the undertone of that, and it seems to be sitting more nicely than the other blue so far. So while that other blue wasn't really doing it for me, it's definitely making it more manageable. So that's good news for the look overall. For the waterline, I'm gonna grab the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Sabbath. Nice deep, dark, deep ass navy blue. I love this pencil. For the inner corner, I don't think I'm gonna use another color in there, but what I'm going to do is use the clear glitter version of the shadow topper, and I'm just gonna pop that right in there and then spread it over both the green and the blue just a little bit. I put on House of Lashes Aquamarine lashes. I'm finishing up this energy drink because your girl is not doing well today. Let me tell you what I don't recommend. I don't recommend having a bunch of margaritas at night and then getting up for a workout and be there at 8 a.m. Don't do it. You shouldn't do it. Skip the margaritas or skip the workout. don't do both. I don't want to be super boring about this, but for some reason, I just feel like this will look so nice paired with just a clear gloss. So I'm gonna grab the ColourPop So Juicy Gloss in the shade Princess Cut. I'm going to just apply it by itself to the whole lip, and then that'll be us. We'll be done. And this is the second look. We did 2 looks, now what do I think? First of all, the packaging is so cute. I put a few of the stickers on. I only put the dog ones on with a couple of hearts because I love dogs and I love pit bulls, and that's what I wanted to put on there. I'll probably put the rest of them on there eventually, but for now, this is all I did and I think it's cute. The concept of this palette, the layout of it, I think is really brilliant. I love the idea of having the full rainbow, having a light shade, a dark shade, and then a shimmer of each one. However, I do have a couple of small complaints. I feel like the overall formula is not my absolute favorite. It is maybe a little bit better than some e.l.f. palettes that I've used in the past, but I don't think it's quite as good as the first ELFXJKISSA palette. It's not bad. It's workable. It's usable. And honestly, I really liked the way both looks came out, so I have no major complaint. But I do have to say that some of the shadows had little strange performance issues, like the color Cannoli blended out a little bit weird and uneven. A few of the shades kind of seemed like you lost a little bit of the vibrance when you started to blend them. Also, the color Peaky, when I was blending it, looked a little bit patchy, but it wasn't so patchy that I couldn't fix it. I just had to go back in and pack back over it. So it's just like they're not the most pungent right off the bat, but you can definitely make them work. Like we got this look is really vibrant and like very saturated. So it's not like you can't get them to get there. They just take a little bit more work than something that's like ultra pigmented. I really wish that the shades Casey and Pepper were more of a true red shade than a reddish brown. I feel like if Casey was like a bright primary red and Pepper was like a burgundy, I think this palette would be way more likely to make it into my regular rotation. Just to touch briefly on the shadow toppers, I think this is cute and I like the idea. I wasn't super crazy about the green one in particular because I felt like the greenness of it just kind of blended away, but there also wasn't enough glitter in it to sort of compensate. However, the clear side with a little bit of iridescent glitter in it, I love this one. I really like the way it looked on the inner corner, especially when I layered it over itself. It has a really nice finish and it makes the lid look almost like kind of wet and silky, which I really like. It's really nice to see an influencer collab at a lower price point. I really like the theme. I think it's really true to her and who she is. She works with color a lot and she loves dogs. And so, I mean, hello, nailed it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, did you pick this palette up? Do you plan on picking this palette up? Do you have a rainbow palette already so you can skip this one? Do you think the layout of it is as genius as I do? Because it's so simple, but like it makes so much sense. Do you know what I mean? I love that. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it because it's very helpful to me and I would really appreciate it. And if you are new around here, go ahead and subscribe because I would love to have you around for future videos. If you want to keep up with me between these videos, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Miss Quinface over there. I post on my stories a lot, so it's a good way to keep in touch about what's going on, and I would love to have you. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are all having a great week so far. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.